afternoon, everyone. And today, Jesus gives us this powerful image of the narrow gate. And when I think about the narrow gate, I imagine a huge, vast wall far in the distance, stretching as far as the eye can see in either direction. And somewhere in that vast wall is this small, narrow gate that we must enter. But I don't think it's really about the gate. I think the issue is the path that we use to get to it. And it kind of reminds me of backpacking. Several years ago, I was on a backpacking trip with my sons in the Sequoia National Park. And the second day of that trip, we were going to go over a mountain to the other side. And the trail was pretty much above the tree line, so we had great visibility, and we could see far, far in the distance this little gap in the ridge of the mountain, and that was the mountain pass, the narrow gate that we were striving to enter. And the trail we were on was twisting and turning, and so there were times when that narrow gate was directly ahead of us, and other times it was off to our left or our right. Sometimes it was even seemed to be behind us. But we had an advantage because the path was laid out for us. And we knew that as long as we didn't stray off the trail, we were headed in the right direction and we would reach the narrow gate. And we did. But in life, we all have our own paths. And so it's easy to get off track as you go toward that narrow gate. But it's not as though we are completely directionless, because the Lord has given us guideposts. Guideposts such as love, compassion, and mercy. These are just a few of the guideposts that the Lord provides to keep us on the path as we go toward that narrow gate. And so if I encounter someone whom I don't find to be particularly lovable, and that's how I treat them, well, then I am straight off the path, away from the narrow gate. Or if I feel somehow that I've been wronged by someone, and I just don't forgive them, then I have strayed off the path, away from the narrow gate. But even if I do stray off the path, all is not lost. And our psalm response today has some good news. My hope, O Lord, is in your mercy. And Jesus doesn't say, you either get through that narrow gate or you're in big trouble. No, he says, strive to enter through the narrow gate. And so, when I stray, I can seek the mercy of God, particularly in the sacrament of reconciliation, to get me back on that path, back toward the narrow gate. But I do strive. And I will continue to strive, and I believe all of you strive as well. And that's why we're here together today, to worship together, to pray together, to strive together toward that narrow gate. And this Eucharistic food that we are about to receive is exactly what we need to provide the nourishment to keep us strengthened as we continue that journey toward the narrow gate today and every day.